YouTube, it's your boy FBOK, man. I'm back here with a brand new video, and I've just had a fantastic game week 9. We're all the rocketed up all the way to 4K in the world. Insane green arrow, top 5K. Let's get into my game week 9 review and see how well I did, as well as my game week 10 team selection and transfer plans. As you guys can see, I had a fantastic game week 9, insane green arrow. I mean, there's so much to talk about. As you guys can see, I'm ranked 4,357 in the world. I think I'm probably the only one of the content creators in the YouTube space / TikTok space that's this highly ranked this season. I've been really fortunate to be in this rank, to be honest. And we're in game week 9. And this is where the ranks start to matter. And if you can hold your position in the top 10K, you may have a legitimate chance at potentially winning FPL, if not finishing in the top 5 or top 10K. The goal is to obviously win the FPL. So let's keep pushing. And obviously, Alhamdulillah, thank God for this insane green arrow. And let's talk about it. 75 points total. Sanchez with 1 pointer, big disappointment. And then you got Gabriel and Konate. I didn't have big expectation, to be honest, but I did say if my defenders didn't show up, right, in that big fixture versus Liverpool Arsenal, I expected Salah to get something. And alhamdulillah, that did happen. We got Mo Salah, King Salah, the Egyptian king, ultimately came with a goal and all 3 bonus points, as he does. And obviously, you've got Lewis with a clean sheet finally versus Southampton, so that's really pleased with him. And you've got Mbeumo, which could have probably been my captain, to be honest. Absolute amazing performance, 2 goals, 15-pointer. I couldn't be more pleased. And then obviously you got Rodgers blanking. To be honest, he should have had 3 points. He got hooked around 59 minutes due to, some rest, because he just played the Champions League 90 minutes before. The thing with Villa, they are struggling with European championships, as well as the fact that they have the Premier League games. So look, this is one of those ones where it's a monitor, wait and see. But hopefully I'm expecting moving in the future that he does get more minutes. And then obviously lastly, my transfer in, Cole Palmer, he's got a 10-pointer. Everyone said, oh, this is not the entry point, bring him in game week 12. I said, no, this guy can get any returns in any fixtures. I don't care who he's playing, whether it's Newcastle, Arsenal. This guy is that good, right? Technically, finishing wise, and he can get return in any fixtures, almost fixture proof. I'm really pleased with him. And then obviously moving on to our forwards, you got Delap with 5 points. And Haaland with 12 points, which is a captaincy, of course. Disappointed, to be honest. And then obviously, a big hero of the week, you got Wood with 13 points, 2 goals. They said, oh, why Chris Wood? Oh, this guy is not a great striker, this, that, and the other. Look, this guy's been the most consistent striker in the game. The fact that he's only 6.4 and returning almost week in, week out, that's ridiculous. He provides exceptional value, to be honest. And then obviously Haaland, a lot of people triple captain him, and he only came out with 6 pointers. Obviously, because of captaincy, he's got 12 with no bonus. Guardiola had all 3 bonus points, and unfortunately, that was a big flop for those who did go for the triple captain Haaland. I did say, on my X threads, as well as on my Roundtable podcast and on my YouTube video, that listen, I wouldn't triple captain Haaland when there is no KDB and they've been on really bad form, especially him. He had lots of chances, to be honest. To believe it or not, he had 2.35 XG in that game and he couldn't convert those chances. But ultimately, look, I just knew that he wasn't going to get those quality chances without KDB. And personally, that's why I recommended people not to go there. And then lastly, Delap, he was benched. The fact that he came up with a return, insane, unfortunate. To be honest, he should have had 2 attacking returns. He hit the post. I think he had like 50 minutes and he had 1 goal, as well as he hit the post, where he should have been top bins. It's a bit of an odd one. He was their talisman. I did assume that, he was going to be on 90 minutes, pens and everything. He wasn't going to get rotated. But unfortunately, he was benched. And that's a bit of a concern, to be honest, for me moving forward. I do need him to play in those easy fixtures. For example, he's got Leicester next. I do need him to play. So if I'm benching guys like Semenyo and he's also benched, it's not really ideal. Overall, 75 points. Really, really pleased with this game week. Insane. 4K green arrow. Crazy stuff. So yeah, let's move on to my game week 10 team selection. At first, you've got your boy Sanchez, who's got Manchester United away. As I said, last week was a bit of a disappointment. He didn't keep a clean sheet, but it is what it is. Newcastle on paper, a bit of a tough fixture. But again, United is also, but you never know. We're kind of hit and miss. One week could be bad, one week could be poor. So let's hope, even if there's no clean sheet, let's hope we get some save points. And as I'm a United fan, I do think the hope that we also win. But yeah, and let's hope that he also gets some save points. And then you got in the back line, Gabriel, Lewis, and Konate. Gabriel has a good fixture on paper on Newcastle away, but he's a bit of a doubt right now because he did hurt his knee in that Liverpool game. Now, ultimately, from what we're hearing on the news, that he's not a big injury and he's potentially available for this match. And he was probably ready for the midweek fixtures or UEFA Cup, but they didn't play because of precaution. I think hearing those news does make me feel I'm optimistic that he's going to start. Hence, I do have him starting. And obviously, if he doesn't start, I do have Burgess coming in, who's got Leicester at home, worst case scenario. And then we've got Lewis, Bournemouth away, good fixture on paper. To be honest, in terms of getting attacking returns versus Bournemouth, it's not easy. They're quite a good defensive team. So if he keeps a clean sheet, amazing. If not, let's hope he gets an attacking return. And then lastly, Konate with Bournemouth at home. I do think this is one of the fixtures where they can keep it clean. I do understand Bournemouth is a good team, but Liverpool has been exceptional defensively this season. They've got like the third or second highest XGC this season, just after Forest and Villa. So look, they're really good on paper defensively, and I do think that he provides a bit of a set piece threat as well. Moving on to our midfield, Santa Salah, King Salah, the man that's been the most consistent. I've been raving about him. A lot of people talked about selling him in game week 8, and I did say no, keep faith in him. He's gonna deliver. And what do you know? He's a big game player. He delivered for me versus Chelsea, for me versus Arsenal. Two big games that he delivered, and people saw him. Now they're scrambling to bring him back to captain him in this game week. It's crazy how it works. I think one of the biggest things this year we need to learn is that you can't always target fixtures, and you have to be patient with these premium assets. The minute you try to switch your premiums, you might miss out on those holes. And you can't necessarily always predict when they're going to come in. And that's why you got to have faith. Pick the 3 best premiums and stick with them. Hence, you guys can see, this is why I went for this premium structure. Salah, Palmer, Haaland, on paper, I can rotate the captaincy with them any given week. And I wouldn't lose any sleep if I captain them because they're that good, they're that explosive. Although Haaland has been out of form recently, but I do think he'll pick it up. And then obviously Palmer, as I said, insane exclusivity. He's got Manchester United away. He's a potential captain to shout as well. Not just Salah. I mean, Salah on paper is the best captain this week because Brighton plays such a high line and they concede so many goals to the wingers. Now, Palmer, depending on which United show up, it could be also a brace for him. So look, the captaincy is between Palmer and Salah right now, but Haaland is also a good shout. But look, this is a luxury I have this week, right? I can captain 2 different players, so I can't complain too much. But ultimately, currently, I do have on Salah, so yeah. Palmer United away, I do expect to return, to be honest. I don't think we're the greatest defensive team anyways. And then we've got Mbeumo, Mr. Consistent, always returning. He's almost essential now. He was like 7 million to start the game, now it's 7.7. And he's got Fulham away. Fulham has been decent this season, I'm not going to lie, but ultimately I think he can still get a return versus them. And he's on such a hot form, right? He's scoring every week. So I do think he's going to get another return. And then lastly, you got Rodgers, Tottenham away. I'm hoping he gets 90 minutes this time. There is no Champions League, and he had quite a bit of a rest. So ultimately, he's playing Tottenham, who are leaky defensively. They play high line. Let's hope he can find Watkins on when he's running behind the line, and maybe he gets an assist or 2 or potentially goal as well. So I do like Rodgers a lot. He does come in really well when it comes to rotation with Wood, Semenyo, and Delap. So next week, for example, I'll bench Rodgers versus Liverpool, and then I'll play Semenyo. So these 3 work really well in rotation-wise. And then moving on to our forwards, as I said, Haaland, Bournemouth away. Good fixture on paper, but the reason why he's not got my captaincy burn right now is because Bournemouth, they do tend to play well defensively, especially this season. Historically speaking, City did score the most goals versus them. But away from home, I do think they're going to struggle a little bit. And I'm hoping that maybe if Haaland does do anything, it's probably a goal or something. I'm not expecting a brace, to be honest. So ultimately, that's the reason why I don't have a captaincy armband on him. And then you got Delap, Leicester at home. He got benched last week. I hope this time he doesn't get benched. I did speak to a couple of Ipswich fans, and they did say that, look, he's our main man. He shouldn't have been benched, but maybe it's because he wanted to get some rest or whatnot. So ultimately, let's just hope it was probably a rest, and he does start versus Leicester, which is a really good fixture on paper, at home as well. So I'm expecting a return if he does start. So let's hope for the best. And then lastly, the main man, the hero of my last game week, Chris Wood, who's been a big differential for me, to be honest, for me to be where I am right now. Because, you know, when you go for these premium structures, you do need your budget options to tick along. And Chris Wood has just done more than that. Not just tick along, he's braced last week, which is insane. He's got West Ham at home as well. Great fixture on paper. Potentially even a captaincy shout. But obviously, when you have the likes of Salah, Palmer, and Haaland, you wouldn't go there. But ultimately, he's got a great fixture, and I'm expecting a return from him as well. So let's hope for the best. Moving on the bench, you got Fabianski, Nottingham Forest at home. And you know what's crazy? He actually started. So finally, I have a budget keeper who I can actually rotate with Sanchez if I'm sick and tired of him, right? So, for example, next week, Sanchez plays versus, I think, Arsenal. I could play Fabianski, who's got a good fixture on paper. So, look, ultimately, I'm glad that he's starting. I really lost his place, so it is a good thing. And then you got Semenyo, City at home. That's why he's on the bench. And then you got Burgess, Leicester at home, and Graves is injured. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. And, yeah, this is how we're lining up. I mean, look, I couldn't be happy with this team. I think I'm a little bit ahead of the curve in regards to the premium structure. So my recommendation is pick the 3 best premium assets you think in the game and go with that structure, and don't rotate them too much because you will miss out on those holes because you can never predict when they're going to come. You can come against a tough fixture or even an easy fixture. And let's move on to my transfer plans for game week 10. As you guys can see, I've got one free transfer, 0.0 million in the bank, and squad value is 103 million, which is really good on paper, to be honest. Potentially, I'm looking at two transfers, and the first player is Raul Jimenez, who's been an insane form. He's scored in like 5 game weeks in a row. You guys can see he's got 7 pointer versus Villa, and he's got an assist versus Man City, which is a beautiful assist, by the way. So he's playing really well. Look, his BPS is really good. His expected goals, expected assist, everything is good. Stats, ITS, his passes, everything with flying colors, and I think he's up there with Wood as one of the most valuable budget strikers in the game. Now, the problem I have is I have Delap, who I got for 5.6, and Raul Jimenez is 5.7. So I do need to find a 0.1 somewhere else to upgrade that position. And I'm thinking to downgrade Greaves next week and upgrade to Delap to Raul Jimenez. But I'm just going to wait on that and see how Delap performs. And obviously, if I wanted to remove Delap this week, and if I get news that he's not starting come deadline on Saturday, I could just do straight up switch for Strand Larsen, who's got a great fixture coming up. He's got Palace, Southampton, Fulham. So he's got a really good fixture on coming up. But ultimately, I don't want to go there yet. I do like Raul Jimenez more. So I want to be patient and give Delap one more game. So yeah, this is how I'm looking up, guys. And I want to give a shout out to another striker as well. Obviously, Cunha, who's also really good for bonus points. He was also assist threat as well as a goal threat. I think he's also on pens, but he does cost a bit more, and I don't have that kind of fortunate of budgets, to be honest. And so I don't want to downgrade any of my players. I do really like my team. Let me know what you guys think. I think the moves are not going to be made this week. I think I'm going to roll most likely this week. So yeah, let's move on to the next section, which will be to look at Rob TFPL's projected goals and clean sheet odds. So yeah, this is Rob TFPL's projected goal scorers as well as projected goals and clean sheet odds. Look, shout out to him. He does amazing graphics. This essentially shows you guys, when you look at the first graphic, is that Haaland is predicted to score 1 or plus goals. He's got 55% chance. And you got Salah with 51%. I personally have Salah ahead of Haaland this week, considering he's playing at home. And Brighton are a leaky defense. They're without Dunk as well, one of their centre backs. So he could be fisting. And then obviously you got Wood, West Ham. They love to score leak goals as well. And they've always considered goals to strikers. So expecting big things from Wood. And then a big differential, you got Darwin Núñez. Jota is out for 3 to 4 weeks. So if you want to take a punt, that one is, I guess, a good punt. But I wouldn't go there personally. He's got Brighton at home as well. And then obviously you got Raul Jimenez, Solanke. I wouldn't put Solanke ahead of Son or Palmer, any of them. He's been horrible. He's essentially playing CDM. So yeah, look, this is a really good list. Ultimately, if you want to take a punt this week, definitely consider Darwin. And obviously you got Raul, of course. And yeah, now if you look at the clean sheet odds, guys, you got Arsenal with, I think, 31% of clean sheet odds, which is pretty good, to be honest. The highest odds that we got, however, is Liverpool. Liverpool has the highest odds, and City with 34%. So I'm glad I have two, Liverpool defense as well as an Arsenal defense. So on paper, it does look like it's going to be a good week for a clean sheet, but you never know. Like, everyone is conceding this season for some reason. So yeah, ultimately, if you wanted to target defenders or attackers, this is a graphic to look at and see, which teams to target and which teams have the highest odds of, maybe getting a clean sheet as well as goals. So yeah, let me know if this is helpful, and I really appreciate all your support, and keep showing that love. And we're going to be on our way to road to 1K. So let's get it. Thank you so much. Peace out.